Hey guys, Everyday Knife Guy here, and yep, you guessed it, it's ZT time again. This is a knife I just picked up in a trade recently, just got it in the mail a couple of days ago, and definitely looking forward to showing this one to you guys. This is, oops, as ZT would say, a real beast. This is the 0560. And you can see there straight away this is the Blackwash version again. There's code on it there. Let me just clear some of this garbage out the way here so we can get a look at this. This is another ZT Rick Hinderer collaboration. You can see there 0560 Blackwash Hinderer design, made in the USA of course. Elmax blade steel stamped on there too, along with the serial number. And as you can see, this is a full titanium frame lock, G10 scale on this side. And this is a big knife, one of the biggest that you'll see on this bench for sure. This is a 3.75 blade, closed length 5 inches, overall just shy of 9 inches. So pretty big beast of a knife, but super smooth and actually quite refined for its size. You can see there with the paper cutting, which I haven't managed to fully clear off shot. That's, you know, I'm too OCD to leave that stuff. You see there with the paper cutting, it's got a pretty nice edge on it. I think that's factory. I got it in a trade on Instagram. It was not brand new in box, but it was pretty much no marks on the pocket clip. It's a black oxidized pocket clip, picks up fingerprints there, but no marks on the clip, no marks on the blade, a nice factory edge on it, and did a really good trade on there. I actually let my ZT0560 go and another blade to a guy called Here's Ryan on Instagram. I'm going to put his handle up here for you, so probably about there somewhere. And he doesn't make YouTube vids, but he's a cool guy and he's great to trade knives with. And he's got a pretty cool collection going on, so if you're on Instagram, follow him for sure. You see some good pictures. And yeah, he's always trading out some stuff, so see some new blades coming in, and yeah, definitely go give him a follow. He doesn't have nearly enough followers, so go check him out. And yeah, this is what I got from him. Beautiful knife. Let's just look it over first of all. Lovely drop point hollow ground blade there. You can see the KAI's patented Blackwash treatment on it, the dark stone wash. Looks really good in this blade, I think, with the textured G10 handle scale. Turn it over and look at this side. What they call 3D machine titanium side on the frame lock. You can see it's actually, if I can get this camera to focus properly today, it's not feeling very helpful. Let's turn it this way, we can get the light on it. You can see it's actually beveled off on the edges, which was one of the things that attracted me to this knife. First of all, I did love my 550, but one of the attractions of the 550 is almost its cartoonish chunkiness. Like, it's a super flat-sided big slab of a knife, and you know, that's what I loved about it. It was you know, it was also a real beast in its own way. It just felt like you're hanging on to a real block of something solid. This feels a little more refined in the hand. The ergonomics are a little better because your hand can wrap around it rather than just holding on to it. But you know, both great knives in their own way. This one not quite so stubby. It's very sort of stretched out design. You can see there it's based off Rick Hinderer's XM18, of course, a classic flipper knife and a real kind of benchmark in the high-end production knife world. So you're getting a premium design for a reasonably premium price, but not crazy. The MSRP on these I think was $325 originally, selling for low 200s to mid 200s, particularly for the Blackwash version, which they came out with a little bit after the original. I think the original came out in 2011, these were sometime after that. No longer produced, you can still find them. Blade HQ has the Blackwash version, this one, currently for $240. They still have them in stock according to the website, but they are being phased out. There's variations. The 0561 I think is still made and still being produced, so you can still get the design, but not the original 0560, which was the plain blade and black G10. So, and also the plain non-Blackwash titanium side. Take a look around here. Quite a rugged handle. You can see on the top here we have a nice thick blade stock and some pretty large radius jimping coming off the back of the blade and onto the handle. Sorry, I'm having some focus issues here. Let's see if we can get this camera to sort itself out. That's a little better. And yeah, when you rest your thumb on that, don't mind this. This was not due to this knife, but when you rest your thumb on that, you get a nice grip, but it doesn't bite in. But it certainly, when you press down, you feel like the jimping's holding your thumb there. Come around the back here. The texturing on this handle is actually really nice in the hand. Gives you a really good grip. And round to the back, there's some more jimping underneath here, and also in the finger choil there, and on the front of the flipper. So, yeah, this is a flipper design, of course. It's, well, you can deploy it either way. It's primarily a flipper, I would say. It's on KVT ball bearings, so it's super smooth, and that's one of the first things I noticed when I got it. Let me just let that blade drop. Fully free dropping right down to the detent. The detent, nice and strong. I literally can't shake that out, however hard I try, but at the same time, really nice, smooth, easy deployment. Lovely detent on it, just lets you break it loose and pop it out. And I actually posted a video on Instagram when I got this. There was basically the way it was tuned and the way the pivot was tightened when I got it, there was kind of four flipping speeds, so there was fast right down to kind of slow-mo, like that. So, I mean, I'm literally just breaking the detent, and the weight of this blade literally just takes it down to full lockup. You can see that's locking up quite nicely there, around about 30% at the moment, I guess. But it is full titanium. This one doesn't have a stainless insert, I don't think. Now that I can see, it doesn't have the screwed in insert anyway, so that'll probably wear over in time. Close it up here. Centering's pretty good. And yeah, lovely smooth action. As with the 0560, let's just bring that in here, the little brother. Let's just put these on the desk there so you can get an idea of the comparison. Yeah, so there's a size comparison for you. As with this knife, the thumb studs, which are ambidextrous, are primarily blade stops, I would say. The design of both these knives, there's kind of a recurve in the front of the handle scales here. As you can see, the large, kind of oversized thumb studs really lock in there to become the blade stop. Although you do have a stop pin back here as well. Let's just see if we can do a deployment with those. Not too hard, certainly not as hard as the 0566 to break free with those thumb studs, but primarily a flipper. Nice smooth action though. Let's just break it. If you break it loose and just move it past the detent ball, literally the weight of the blade will just close it up. And that's with the pivot cranked up tight, so there's, you know, at that there's zero blade play up and down, side to side, so lovely solid knife, feels super solid, but at the same time you get that really smooth action on the ball bearings, so that's nice. Even, let's see if I can get a grip on it here, deployment from underneath, you can usually grab it with a finger, like so. So once you break the detent, lovely smooth action and nice deployment. Tension on the lock bar is pretty good. It's not super strong, just enough to push over. Rick Hinderer's classic kind of lock bar stabilizer there. Not sure why my camera's having such focus issues, but we'll work with it. You can see the cutout in the lock bar to reduce the tension. One thing I noticed in the lock bar on this in particular is, let's see if I can get a torch here. That actually looks like the cutout slot there. Oops, sorry, I moved the camera there. But if you actually shine light down in there, you can see the actual gap between the main part of the frame and the lock bar is very small. Smaller than I've seen on most knives. There's actually a kind of a chamfer in there, makes it look a little wider. So it's you know, pretty close cut on that side. Let's just take a look at that on the 0566. You can see there a much wider slot. You can actually see all the dirt in there because I need to clean this. But yeah, a little bit different on that. Slightly different design on the lock bar sides. Same hexagonal pivot there. Locks it in nicely. It means you only need to adjust the screw on this side. You don't need to hold it on the back. And yeah, you can see the same styling cues on both knives, but of course this is the flat-sided stainless steel lock side, and this is the textured 3D titanium. Pocket clips, let's take a look at those. This is more of a kind of a belly on it at this point. Nice sort of flat clip here. This is more of a tapering design. and similar in size. The attachment points for the pocket clips are a little bit different. This one has 2 screws at either side. This one has this nice little cutout with the 2 screws down below. Much prefer this design. That's really nice and neat, I think. Great design on that. In terms of dimensions, well, you can see the blades there are basically identical in style, but a little bit smaller than the ZT0560, obviously. It's quite interesting. I was comparing them side by side. This is a 3.75 inch, this is a 3.25. But if you look, point from the top of the swedge there, if you will, to the actual point is the same dimension on both, so where they're touching. But the rest of it has basically been scaled back on this, on the ZT0560. So yeah, fairly similar knives. This one, nice ergonomics in the hand. Feels a little clumpier because of the flat side is stainless steel on the lock side. This one, I say, is great ergonomics. Really, the curve of it really fits in with your hand. So although it's a big old knife, just fits really comfortably. Small bit overhanging there, but nothing significant. Front finger locks into this nice big choil behind the flipper, and thumb just comes down on top of that jimping. It's just, you know, couldn't really be more comfortable, to be honest. The way it's curved, it actually means that the pocket clip kind of gets swallowed up in your hand, so it's not even one of those knives where you feel the pocket clip digging in. Just everything works, and you certainly feel like you get some great maneuverability with that big blade. Overall weight, 6.4 ounces on this. I think it's 5.8 on this one. They feel, yeah, I mean, they feel really similar in hand. This being a significantly larger knife, you know, you'd expect there to be a little bit more difference, but one of the reasons for that is this is nicely skeletonized inside. See if we can get a light down in here. Yeah, you can see there, large cutouts machined into the titanium. All the way back here, even back here between the 2 standoffs. It has one standoff up here, stop pin there, 1, 2, 3 standoffs. You can see there the machining inside. Oh, that's actually a lanyard hole, but down below that, if we flip it over this side, you might be able to see. Oops. Yeah, you can see there's some machining going on right the way down here, even inside the lock bar. So they've done a lot to reduce weight on this. And that's good because it feels nice and maneuverable for being such a big blade. But in a way, that's almost, you know, one of the main cons for me is when I first picked this up, it actually felt a little blade heavy. Like the handle is a little bit light in your hand compared to the weight you have up front. I mean, the balance is pretty good. Let's see if I can get it to sit there. So that's my finger in the front choil there. Turn it up. That's my finger right there. So I mean, the balance is really nice, but it does just kind of feel a little bit light in the handle. It almost makes it feel a little cheaper than maybe it should, but you know, that's just one of those psychological things associating weight with quality, which doesn't always go together. This feels more solid, definitely more handle heavy on this knife, but it's, you know, that's just a personal preference and a feel thing. I do love the texturing on this and the way it locks in, so overall pretty nice. Value for money. Well, you know, depending what you're looking for in a knife, this is obviously a large tactical style blade, but you know, not something I'd say you couldn't EDC. It obviously takes up a bit of pocket space, but you know, it's the curve and shaping of the handle means that it doesn't feel too obtrusive in the pocket. Certainly not as much as the 550 felt in my pocket. So you certainly could EDC this, and you know, it's a nice functional blade shape, good steel. The Elmax steel, which will hold a nice edge for you, and yeah, you could certainly do some work with that. The only thing is, it is a little bit offensive looking to some people. I mean, that's you know, that's kind of a scary looking knife to some folks. It's a big black dangerous looking thing. You know, it's not a little EDC blade, so something to bear in mind. But if that's the kind of thing you like to EDC, I certainly say you could carry this. If weight is an issue for you, yeah, I mean, it is over 6 ounces, so it's quite a heavy knife, but you know, that's just a personal preference thing again. And going on for a 4-inch blade, some people will consider that a little bit big. I usually would, but you know, I'm certainly keen to use this day to day for a while and see how I get on. What else do we need to say about the design? Well, it's a 4-position pocket clip, quad carry they call it. So tip up, tip down, left and right. You can see they've actually machined nice little flats into the titanium there, and also in the G10 little flat. I quite like that style. You can actually see where you've got a proper mounting position, not just going with the curve of the handle. Oversized lanyard hole at the back here, and as I said, 1, 2, 3 main standoffs and stop pin back here. The hexagonal pivot, quite a small pivot screw for being such a large blade, and KVT ball bearing system in there. I think that's about it for the design. Yeah, I think we've talked about most things. Yeah, overall pretty impressed. First impressions are good. One of the things I knocked the 0566 for was it is also, of course, the Blackwash version. And I didn't like with it how this liner here, or this part of the frame, is not been blackwashed. Same issue on this knife. Let me see if we can get the light on it so you can see. You can see there, this is much brighter, an untreated side of the frame. It contrasts quite harshly with this side, which has been all blackwashed and has that lovely smoky grey look. So you have a black scale, a bright side, dark standoffs, and a nice smoky grey. So there's a bit of a colour contrast here that I'm not a huge fan of. I wish they had done something to tone down this side or blackwash this side so it looked a little more consistent. But you know, it's not something you notice straight away unless you're really looking for it. So it's not a big deal. In terms of cons, I said about the handle lightness. That's really the only other thing I've noticed so far that I particularly knock it on. So certainly love the flipper action. It's a great fun knife to play with. Flips at any speed you want, any finger you want. So really nice. This came as a manual knife, of course. This is assisted. 0566 ID assisted, this one. Oops. Still takes a bit more effort to get this to flip, of course. It's not really designed that way, but just a bit of a different feel, I think, because this is a solid handle and stainless steel frame lock. Kind of has a little bit more of a solid lock-up feel. You can almost hear in the sound there, this is a little more tinny sounding. But you know, that's not a, I wouldn't knock it on that, it's just a different kind of vibe with this knife. So there you go, guys. I think that's all I want to say at the moment. Good to put this through some use and see how I get on. Certainly impressed with it off the bat. Do like it a little bit more than my 0550, just due to the handle shape and the ergonomics and how it feels overall. So yeah, let's leave it there. It's been a bit of a longer video anyway. There you go, the 0560 Blackwash Hinderer Design ZT. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.